People want to know, what was it like before, you know? They see what it is now. I mean, they wouldn't be here if they didn't like it. But obviously it wasn't always like this. So what was it like before? You know, I mean, that's how I want to tell stories, is not to make them feel bad for coming here because, you know, now there's so many of them, but to feel good about it and hopefully, you know, elicit some kind of response from them to maybe want to get involved with helping the situation that you have today. And if you get everybody just to do a little bit, you know, then it adds up to something. And so you try and make people think about a bigger picture rather than just my wave, and hopefully some good comes of it.
Wow, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming and supporting the cause, you know, protecting Uluwatu. We are blessed to have my hero, mentor. I mean, there's so many words I could use to describe him, but I would like to welcome to this little stage here my dear friend and my hero, Mr. Jerry Lopez.
Wow. Thank you all so much for coming. This is so awesome to be here. You know, it's been a long time, and it's kind of like coming home in a lot of ways. But I wanted to say something about waves. And waves, they're hard to ride. In the process of learning this demanding and often uncompromising activity, we can discover something extremely profound. And if there is more difficulty in seeing this forest through these trees, in time we do see in this experience of surfing that there are many very interesting parables about life. So while the waves of life may seem indeed more difficult to ride than the waves on the ocean, when we apply those lessons learned out in the surf, we sometimes can find, in a metaphorical sense, that easier paddle out, you know, like hooking into that rip current that slides us smoothly through the closed out sets of day-to-day life, and maybe even gain that outside lineup, keeping our hair dry. So, you know, I've been studying and practicing yoga for a long time, and I found that the state of samadhi, or enlightened consciousness, can be attained through a regular and dedicated practice of deeply focused meditation. I've been a surfer for a long time too, and I truly believe that the focus necessary to surf successfully is also a state of deep meditation. So it just may be that we're onto something a lot deeper than we thought the first time we decided that surfing was going to be our life. Let's get this slideshow going. So yeah, I got a good friend that I had grown up with in Hawaii, Jack McCoy, living down there in Torquay, and he had a health food restaurant down there. And we were in it one day. We were down there, during the Bells contest at Easter, and I saw this picture on the wall. I went, wow, where's that spot? I could see who it was. That's Wayne Lynch. And Jack goes, oh, that's Uluwatu in Bali. And I go, man, we're going. And we looked at a map and we made it over here. And man, we thought we died and went to heaven. That was in 1974. It was probably, we came down and, the first time we came down here, we we flew over here, so we knew general direction where it was. We hired a Bimu and Kuda and we drove out here and we started trying to find our way to the beach, to the cave, and we wandered around for hours. We got lost, climbed trees, got bit by ants, tried to go across the pastures, going through those, cactus, thorny fences they had. And we're really getting frustrated. And finally, we ran into Mike and Bill Boyum and Fred Haywood from Maui, and they were heading to Uluwatu. And so that's how we got there. We loved it. Bali, as you all know, it's a very magic place, very special.
It's just like a really traditional experience of listening to your elders, like forever humans have sat around the campfire or sat around the dinner table and listened to the wisdom of our elders.
You look at him, he's 66 and he's a specimen. He makes everybody look silly when it comes to strength and stamina, and it kind of blows you away. You're like, wait a second, how is this possible?
The first competition, Bali Surfing Club, they have bunch of like Mike Boyum, Jerry Lopez. He was there. He was starting, put the roots on the seed of surfing in Indonesia.
He's been practicing yoga for a long time now, and it really kind of shows when you sit in a practice with him. And I think the best part is that he's so willing to share that with everyone.
And you don't see a lot of crew his age surfing like that, so that is a real amazing thing to share with those of us who want to be surfing our whole lives and just being stoked with surfing. He's really showing us that you can do that. You just got to look after your earth suit.
I've come to understand that yoga comes into people's lives exactly when it's supposed to. And I didn't realize it at the time that it was my time to connect with yoga. And it kind of dovetailed exactly with my time about getting serious about surfing. It seemed like I was on two different paths, but because sometimes they came close together and other times they seemed to go further apart. And it took a long time to realize that they were exactly the same path, and that the whole healthy surfing lifestyle was really me emulating a yoga lifestyle that was been laid out thousands of years ago and perfected to a science. Literally, yoga is a scientific method. And I just watched how my whole progress of surfing and yoga evolved, and it took a while for me to realize that they were evolving simultaneously and together. Then I started to see that there was something much deeper about surfing than I certainly originally thought. I mean, obviously there was something way deep about yoga because there it was. I mean, it goes back for years. But I thought about it more and more and went, wow, maybe they're the same. Maybe what yoga and surfing are trying to do is tap into exactly the same energy, the prana or the mana. And the Hawaiians were doing it through surfing, and the yogis were doing it by breathing. And one of my purposes is trying to understand that surfing and yoga are really kind of the same. The cave was just so idyllic. I mean, it was, had that cool shade back there, get out of the sun, and that squeaky clean sand. That water looks a little dirty, huh?
Yeah, this one you can see you guys were here right after a big rainstorm, and the river would have flown out through here, which is, this is a big part of what Project Clean Uluwatu has been working on down in the Warungs, because through the years, the system was always to just throw the trash in the ravine further up the river and wait for these big rains to come that would wash through the cave and just take it all away. And it got pretty crazy up to a few years ago when there was pretty much a huge cesspit of black water and gray water mixed, and nobody wanted to go anywhere near the cave after a rain because it kind of got all flushed out straight down into it. You can see how the river flows right through the cave in the rainy season.
Well, that's the issues of today that we all have to deal with. I mean, because we love this place and we love to come here, but these are problems that we have to solve, and Project Uluwatu is is doing, making a tremendous effort to do that.
The main problem down there was that it grew faster than anyone expected. And so all of these small businesses popped up over the years, and there was no official designation as far as who should do what and what the really, the plan was for rubbish. I think this is true in a lot of parts of Bali, but Uluwatu being the most famous, probably the most historic spot in Bali, it really came to a head here. And so the problem is that, it was everyone's problem, but no one's problem. Project Clean Uluwatu really came about when Tim got involved, and we decided to become more organized and to designate who did what, and to really get a plan together as far as what we wanted to do.
At this point in time, the main thing is finishing the wastewater gardens, which is the final step in the liquid waste part of our project. So we have dry waste and liquid waste, and we already treat the water through a bioseptic system, and when it leaves the bioseptic system, it'll run through this series of wastewater gardens, and then basically the water, the nutrients get absorbed by the plants, and it just gets returned to the earth, so it sort of completes the cycle.
When I first came here, it was before plastic packaging, if you can believe that. Bottled water came in glass bottles, and sometimes you'd get a bottle and the cap would just flick off with your thumbnail. You go, oh, that was a bootleg one, better not drink that one. But there wasn't any plastic water bottles or plastic packaging, so what Tim was talking about throwing trash, which generally was just paper, into the gulch, it was kind of organic, and it would wash out, and this ocean would break it up, and it worked back then, but it doesn't work anymore. But as it became more known, more and more people started coming. The cave was still so magic. I mean, I don't know if any of you spend any time in that cave, but it's a pretty psychedelic place.
Dripping out.
This is the end of the slideshow. Thank you all for coming. This slideshow is really about how it is now, and the things that we have to deal with, and any support that you can give to Project Clean Uluwatu is really key in keeping this place as beautiful as it's always been. So thank you so much.
Think about it all the time. I mean, because I think about all the great times and great waves I had in G-Land, and in my mind, that's still the best wave in my life, and it never is that far away from my mind, and away from when I make a surfboard, I'm always thinking, how would this board work in G-Land? And so it was kind of shocking to realize that I hadn't been back in 20 years because I kind of kept it at least close to my heart because I thought about it so much, I'm going to go back this summer, and it just never happened.
For me as a Grom is surfing with Jerry and Peter, just like Jerry, like surfing with your hero. Going to G-Land, surfing low tide, just follow his way. He shows us the path.
He's incredibly strong and flexible when you do yoga with him, and he's like a pretzel balancing on a pinky finger, and you're there sweating and shaking, and we're half his age. This is definitely inspiring.
People ask me, like, how long do you think you could surf? It's like, look at Jerry. He's out at 8-foot G-Land, charging.
We used to think that, is it ever going to come to a point where surfing isn't so bitchin' anymore, that people are going to go, I'm over it. I don't care about it anymore. Because right from the beginning, surfing has just kept growing and getting bigger, and everybody wants to do it. If you like it, you develop that connection with it, and as soon as you come back, you reconnect to that energy that's here. And I used to get that, walking back into G-Land, just having that, wow, I'm home feeling. And I really felt that here as well, and feeling pretty good.
done being puppeteered and told when to bow.